is INT230, the first instructor recording, and this just goes over your first assignment, which is to create a one-point perspective using a photograph as an underdrawing. So in design, as designers, sometimes you can just go ahead and take a picture of a client's interior and then place a piece of tracing paper over it and show what you are thinking about doing in terms of modifications. So this is just a quick start and a bit of a review for those of you who have taken one-point perspective before. This might be a review for you, but again, we learn something every time we do things multiple times. So your handout that's available to you, 11 by 17 to print, is available at the Copy Center, or you may print it out on your own. The first printout is a printout of I just called it the mid-century modern seating area. So I'm going to start with this image, and I already turned it into a black and white drawing just so that it makes it a little easier for me to demonstrate. So this could as well been a colored photo, or just putting a piece of tracing paper over your computer screen. Same rules will apply. Step number 1 is to find the vanishing point. So usually when we draw, we begin by drawing a horizon line, placing a dot on that horizon line that represents the vanishing point in a one-point perspective. In a one-point perspective, there is, just as the name suggests, one point where all lines merge to on that horizon line. So when we're drawing over something, we have to do a bit of the opposite. So we have to, instead of placing the dot on the horizon line, we have to go ahead and find the vanishing point. So to do that, I usually take a straight edge, and with a pencil or something light, I place my straight edge along usually the ceiling planes at the top and the bottom. So the ceiling at the top, floor planes at the bottom, and I draw a line. So do that for the top, for the ceiling. Then find some other major lines. So I can see this very strong line here of the tile. Draw that. Maybe the line from the top of the couch, all these lines. All these lines, maybe up here at the soffit at the ceiling, all these lines are going to merge to a central vanishing point. And that vanishing point is about right here. I'm going to go ahead and use my Papermate Flare just for presentation because it's easier to see. So I'm going to go ahead and put now my Papermate Flare on the vanishing point, and I'm going to use my straight edge, and you can see that the tray ceiling comes to the vanishing point. You can see the top of the wall comes to that vanishing point. All the lines to the left for the shiplap or paneling on this left wall all goes to this vanishing point. The same will be true if I put my pen right here just to hold it. You can see there's the tile, there's the rug. If I put my point there, there's the sofa again, right? There's the top of the built-in. So step number 1 is to find the vanishing point. The vanishing point also represents now where the horizon line would be. So if we're looking straight on someone who's taking a picture of this room, this is where someone's eye would be. So that's also where the horizon line is. Once you've found that vanishing point, you can then use that vanishing point to add lines, add texture, you know, do some things to your drawing. If you wanted to add some lines to the area rug, if you wanted to add some additional tiles, etc. If you wanted to put some planking on the wall, you can use that vanishing point. So again, so if I wanted to put wood paneling up there on the ceiling or tongue and groove, I would just do that using the vanishing point. So for this exercise, the minimum I want you to do is to go ahead and add a few more tiles. So from the vanishing point, we have a tile there. I have a tile here. Looks like I have a tile right here. And there's a tile right here. So next I'm just going to have you use that vanishing point to add some additional lines for the tile. So basically what you want to do is you can equally measure along the front here, or you can just estimate, you know, what looks like in here, you know, the middle of the tile. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Maybe it's right about here. So from there, you can either measure, like I show you in the lecture, or you can just guess what's middle, or you can place an X through your shape to find the center. So picture this tile right here. If I wanted to find the center of it without measuring, you can go here, 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 and here. So the 4 corners of that, and you can place an X through. And you can find the center of that tile right here where the X meets. And from the vanishing point through the X, we have the center of that tile. Right, so now you've used the vanishing point to add a few more tiles on your floor. You can completely redo those if you want, if you took drawing 145, you learned that you can make those marks along the bottom and just pull those all out to the vanishing point. So if you wanted to make this wood flooring or something, you can do that as well. But the minimum I want you to do for this exercise is just to increase the number of tiles. In a 1-point perspective, all lines that are in perspective will merge to this single vanishing point on the horizon line. Horizontal lines run parallel to the picture plane. So everything, if you're looking at something straight on, everything that you're looking at straight on is a straight horizontal line. So all that paneling on that back wall is a pure horizontal line. The back of the sofa, the front of the arms, the front and back of the coffee table, etc. All the horizontal lines of the tile are just truly running parallel to the picture plane. So if you want to just to practice that, again, so vertical lines are vertical in a 1-point perspective. And so these lines run horizontal all the way across. So horizontal line. So what I'm asking you for this exercise at a minimum is just to go ahead and put all those horizontal lines in on your floor. You can use a straight edge or you can do that by hand. Front of the area rug, even if that's a little textured, like if it's a nice shaggy rug, it runs nice and horizontal. So step number 3 is to add horizontal lines. So again, if you want to add some tongue and groove up in the ceiling tray, you can run some horizontal lines across there. 4. In a 1-point perspective, as well as a 2-point perspective, vertical lines run vertical. So I'm just going to draw quickly a nice vertical line that represents the corner of that wall, and a nice vertical line that represents that edge, and then maybe a center joint of the tongue and groove. A nice vertical line representing a straight floor lamp. Okay, so vertical lines are vertical. So that means if there's draperies back here, you can just run some nice vertical lines down, even if they have a bit of a wave to them. Okay, so there's some draperies back here. If this is a wall, vertical lines are vertical. If this is where the built-in, so here's our built-in. Right, there's one door of our built-in. Vertical lines are vertical, so that's real nice. So for example, I can't see this edge right here, but I just have to draw a nice vertical line up and up here. Horizontal lines are horizontal. And now I have my built-in that's recessed into the wall. It comes down from this perspective. So once you find your vanishing points and you understand kind of the idea of horizontal lines being running parallel to the picture plane in a 1-point perspective, you can start adding in a lot of details. So at a minimum, step 4 of this assignment, I'm going to ask you to add some wood paneling, vertical lines, to this built-in. So carry on and do that, and I will finish this drawing up and show it to you as we do the tracing portion of it. So that was step 4, is to start thinking about how you can use the vertical lines to enhance your drawing. So for example, if I'm missing the edges of my coffee table, this is more of a freehand sketching sketching class. If you want more of a technical drawing, then go ahead. You can always add a straight edge or work with a straight edge. I typically don't work with a straight edge because I like to have more of a loose sketch quality, and I'm someone who likes to turn my paper around. But if you truly want to keep everything very pure and plumb, then a straight edge is very helpful. Sometimes I can even just tape a straight edge to my drawing. Like even if you had a piece of cardboard and you can just tape that on, then when I'm using my triangle, I can keep my lines, nice and straight. So I might do that for the next demonstration. Just attach just a piece of cardboard on to my drawing. That way I can still move it around, but I don't have to think too much about my straight edge. Step number 5. So I made the point that in a 1-point perspective, everything's going to merge to this 1 point on the horizon line. Horizontal lines run parallel to the picture plane. Vertical lines run perpendicular to the picture plane. That's true. I mean, we could do a whole drawing just with those 3 points. But occasionally, something is tilted on an angle in the room, and then those rules no longer apply. So everything is in 1-point perspective, and all of a sudden we have this ottoman down here that's on an angle. So if I wanted to actually, let's say, add stripes or something to this ottoman, how would I find out where the vanishing point is? So what you're going to do is you're going to follow the lines of your ottoman, And those lines are going to go off of the page and they're going to hit the horizon line. And they're going to hit the horizon line just about over here. So what happens is then you're going to have, just for this tilted piece only, you're going to have a vanishing point over here. And then on the horizon line, way off the page, you're going to have lines that merge on the horizon line way over there. So let me just show you this one. So for the sake of time, I'm going to say it's right there. I could put a point. And then I can just go ahead and use that vanishing point to add some stripes. And then way off to the other side, there's going to be lines that go off that way. So that's a little bit of a break from the rule, but if your drawing is a bit smaller than this one, then we could have definitely found those two vanishing points and added some details to that. So step number 5 is just to explore that nice tilted ottoman and to add some texture. So whether that's some horizontal lines, however you want to add some texture or some hatching to your drawing, go ahead and do that. So that's step number 5 for your instructions, is to think about that ottoman, how that tilted angle relates to the horizon line and the vanishing points. Step number 6 just reminds us again, just like I did with this big tile, when you cut anything in half, you find its center. Whether that be the back wall, a side wall, etc. Anything that you cut in half, you can find the center. So I'm going to do a couple. Let's say I want to find the center of the side of this arm of the sofa. I go corner to corner with an X. I find the center and I draw a vertical line up and over, or horizontal, and now I've cut that size of the side of that sofa into 4 equal quadrants. Even if I had a pillow, something a little more organic, if you cut a pillow in half, you can find the center. If I cut this back wall in half, I can find its center. So right now we have the center with this nice tongue and groove. So follow along. This is the upper right-hand corner, and this is the upper left-hand corner. This is the lower right-hand corner, and if I take a horizontal line across, I find hidden behind the sofa right here, I find the lower left-hand corner. So again, anything that you cut in half, boom, right there, you can find the center. So I cut that in half, and lo and behold, it's right there where that center line is in the drawing. I could then cut these in half again and find the center, and if I wanted to put another evenly spaced line, I can do that. So number 6 just asks you to cut some shapes in half. So for example, if I want this to be 2 doors instead of 1 in perspective, right? Not just straight on, corner to corner. If I put an X through something and then I draw a vertical line, I now have 2 doors instead of 1. So number 6, cut something in half and play around with that. If you want to find the center of the coffee table, cut the front of that in half. If you want to find the center of the ottoman, cut that in half. Step number 7 in this exercise. It's important to add life to your drawing. So this is a little bit of sales and marketing and merchandising. When you begin to add life to your drawing, entourage as it's called, you begin to, you know, add life and personality, and you can help your clients see themselves or see the people who will occupy the space in the drawing. So I'm going to have you add, first of all, some people, some entourage. For people, first of all, you're going to find that horizon line at 5 feet. And I kind of took a look at that just to make sure that that's about right. And what I did is I thought, if that back of that sofa is 3 feet, right there, and 2 of that is 6 feet, then yeah, that looks like the horizon line is just where it's supposed to be at eye level. So when we say eye level, for a short person like myself, around 5 foot or 5'2", the horizon line is going to hit at 5 feet our eyes. If you're taller, a little taller of a person, your eyes are going to be a little bit above that 5 feet. So go ahead and either trace or place some entourage. Maybe the person has a purse. It gives the drawing a sense of life, of scale. So it'd be better if you trace those, make those nice and pretty. Maybe put trace some cool plants back in your planter. Make your rug shaggy, right? Put people, put stuff in. Pillows. Change the floor lamp. Add some art. And so remember, you want to think, if your eye is right here, you know, where is most art going to fall? Maybe art is going to fall right here. And then put some nice design in your art. And finish up the drawing, adding details. And I'm going to stop the video and I'll add some details and then I'll turn it back on. What you're going to do next is you're going to then add a piece of tracing paper over your drawing, and you're going to retrace your drawing with all of these details that you're going to go back in and complete. So number 8 for this assignment is to add and finish up, add all those details. Look, there's books underneath the coffee table, there's some books above, maybe a bowl. Maybe you want to add a plant. Maybe you want to trace a chandelier in the ceiling. So go ahead and finish up your drawing. Horizontal lines are horizontal. Otherwise, here they're going to go to the vanishing point. And finish your drawing so that you can see it well enough so that when you go over it, placing a piece of tracing paper or marker over it to create a nice line drawing, you'll be able to see what you're working on. I don't see the bottom of my 2 feet of my coffee table, so we know that vertical lines are vertical. So wherever I pick the bottom of the foot, I could take that across on both sides, and now the feet are the same size. Horizontal lines are horizontal. This corner goes back to the vanishing point. This corner goes back to the vanishing point. So you can fix things that you don't see. You can fix what's happening over here. So if this is our shelf and we can't see what's happening, I just drew a vertical line because vertical lines are vertical. I'll use the vanishing point like this, like that. Horizontal lines are horizontal, right? So it's going to go back to the wall. So now you're looking under the shelf here. You're looking under the shelf. And so I can also put a countertop here, fix this little pop out, make it look really interesting, and then place a piece of marker over it. I don't like seeing the tray right here because if it's an actual commercial or seating area, I don't think there would be a tray there. So I'm gonna, when I redraw it, I won't put the tray there. I took out the coffee cup and made this look more like a corporate seating area. Thank you for watching this video and enjoy. Now place something over your drawing, and we will talk next week and continue, and we'll do one more 1-point perspective before we move to a 2-point perspective.